good morning or afternoon, whichever it is when you watch this. I'm glad that you've joined us. There are several things that I want to go over with you. And just like we ended last year in a very unusual fashion, we're going to be starting the year this year differently than we ever have before. We had given out school calendars to you, and now those are basically defunct. Right now, the only thing I can tell you for certain about the school calendar is that we are going to begin school on August 31st. So that is 2 weeks later than we had scheduled, but that is the day that we are going to start. Hernando County has chosen to push their start date back until the 31st, and so we are following suit. We will not follow everything that they do, obviously, but that is something that we are going to do. So with that in mind, I wanted to let you know that we will have our parent-teacher meeting on Friday night, the 28th. Now, because we are still struggling to handle things with social distancing and being careful to make sure that we protect our students and our teachers and our families, we are going to do our parent-teacher meeting differently than we have before. It was already going to be different because we're having it on Friday night before school starts, with the idea that you can come, bring your child to meet his or her teacher. You can bring their school supplies, and we'll get a chance to share with you any of the important announcements that we have as the school year begins. So what we are going to do is this year, we are going to divide that out into 3 separate sessions because we don't want to have too many people in the auditorium at one time. We don't want to have too many people in each of the classrooms at one time. So please, this is very important. You need to understand that here's how we are dividing it. There will be a session from 6 to 7, one from 7 to 8, and one from 8 to 9. And the way that you determine which session is your session will be decided by the last name of your oldest child. I know some families, everyone has the same last name. Some families don't. So what we have done is if there is a sibling group in the academy, we have taken and assigned your time for the parent-teacher meeting by the last name of your oldest child. So if your oldest child's last name begins with a D, then you will be in the first session. The session from 6 to 7 will be for those with the last name starting between A and G, any letters between A and G. The 7 to 8 session, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, will be for H through R. And the 8 o'clock through 9 o'clock session will be for parents that have their oldest child with the last name beginning with S through Z. Okay, so let me tell you that again. 6 to 7 is A through G. 7 through 8 is H, the letter H through R. And 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock is S through Z. Now, if one of your children has a last name that begins with a different letter, that's all right. You bring all of your children with you during your designated time. And that time, again, is determined by the last name of your oldest child. What will happen is in each session, you will come into the auditorium first. So the 6 to 7 o'clock session will come in here at 6 o'clock into the auditorium. We will have a video of the announcements and things that we wanted to share with you. And then there will be some of us staff in here in case you have any questions or any comments, you need any clarification. When that video ends and the question period ends, then this group, the A to G group, will leave and go to your children's respective classrooms. If you have multiple children, you can go to each of the classrooms, meet the teacher, drop off your child's school supplies, and then get things taken care of. Meanwhile, at 7 o'clock, the second session will enter here. And then that group, the first group, will need to be out of the classrooms by 10 after 7. That will give the teachers then time to clean surfaces and be prepared for the next influx of students and their parents. The last session will begin at 8 o'clock. That group will come in here for the video session and questions, and then they will enter down into their children's classrooms. So that's the way we're going to do it this year, to try and allow for social distancing. If you desire to wear a mask, you may. We are not requiring it. So I want you to understand that we will do all that we can as far as sanitizing surfaces and things like that. So school will begin then on Monday, August 31st. Our school start time is 8:30, but please, this is very important. I need for everyone to strive to have your children here no later than 8:20. Here's the reason. This year, because of safety precautions with COVID, we are going to be taking the temperatures of every staff member and every student each day. So here will be the drop-off procedure. We will still have children supervised by teachers between 8 and 8:30 every morning. But it will happen here in the church auditorium where I am right now, instead of in the fellowship hall this year. So it'll be here in the auditorium, and every family will be assigned a drop-off and pickups parking lot. Miss Vanessa will be getting in touch with you with the lot that is your drop-off and pickup spot. So when you drop your children off, whether you drop them off at 8 o'clock or 8:20, no later than 8:20, please, then you will drive through. The cones will be out. You'll drive around. You will stop here at the double doors, either on my right, the south parking lot, or on my left, the north parking lot. You'll drop them off at the double doors, and you need to stay and wait. Stay in your car, please. Drop your children off, and there will be a staff member right at these doors. The doors will be open. Staff member will scan your child's temperature, and we are going to have a log, and we will keep track every day of every student's and every teacher's temperature, okay? So we will log that temperature. Now, if you have a child in your family group that has a temperature of 100.1, 100 and 1/10 of a degree or higher, then the entire family group will have to go home, because we don't know what it is or who has been exposed. So that will be one of our primary safety precautions this year. So you must stay until we scan the temperature of each of your children, so that if they need to go home, you will be here still to take them. So that is paramount. And like I said, we will be letting you know which lot will be your lot to drop your children off. The reason that I say everyone needs to be here by 8:20 is because every student needs to have their temperature scanned. So if you, in the years past, have come and you stayed in your car and waited for your children's class to come out of the building and head toward the school building, and then your child got out of the car and went to join his or her class, we can't do that this year. We have to scan their temperatures, so they have to come in to the church building and have their temperature scanned and logged. So please make sure that your children are here no later than 8:20, because we have to get our teachers into their classrooms by 8:30 so we can begin our school day. So you will drive through, and just like you get in line to pick children up in the afternoon, you will get in line to drop your children off in the mornings. All right? If you have any questions about that, feel free to call the school office, and we'll try to clear it up. I think once it happens once or twice, it won't be a problem. You're going to see that it won't be that difficult. Also, because we have delayed the start of our school year, the state of Florida and our government requires 180 school days. Our calendar was designed to have 180 school days. We have pushed the calendar back so that the start date is 10 days later, 10 school days later. So therefore, there will be changes to the calendar, but right now I don't know exactly what they will be. I'm not going to put out a new calendar yet, because there are little rumblings that possibly the state will shorten the school year this year and make it 170 days. If that happens, then our calendar will be okay. If not, then we're going to be it's going to be necessary for us to shorten some of our breaks, shorten the Thanksgiving break, shorten the Christmas break, and go longer into the summer. So please just be aware that as soon as we know how many days are going to be required, then we will get a new calendar out and get that out to you. Also, remember to check the website for your child's school supply list. And if the school supply list does not say hand sanitizer on it, please get hand sanitizer and send with your children, because we are going to rely heavily on children washing their hands and sanitizing their hands throughout the day this year. So if it asks for the large bottles of hand sanitizer and you're able to find them, please send them. But if you can find small ones for your child to have in his or her desk, that's perfectly fine, and we would be appreciative of any help like that you can give us. Now, we've had multiple questions about whether we are going to offer distance learning or virtual school, like the options that the public school system is giving, or like we ended the year with last year. We are going to offer an option, but it will not be like what we did last year, nor will it be like what the public school system is doing. What we are offering is this. We are going to offer a homeschool option. For the first time, the scholarship Step Up is allowing, the scholarship systems are allowing homeschool to be acceptable because of COVID. So it is something that if you want to keep your child at home because you're fearful, then we are going to offer this option, but there are going to be some strict requirements concerning those things. So for those of you that have been wondering if that was an option, yes, it will be, with these understandings. First of all, if you choose to use the homeschool option through Faith Christian Academy, I need you to contact us and let us know that. You can text, you can email, you can call and let us know that you are going to choose that option, and we need to be notified by no later than August 14th. That will give us 2 weeks' time to get things in order so that we can be ready to facilitate that for you as well as starting school. So we need you to let us know by August 14th. Now, the other things that we are going to require are these. If you are choosing to do the homeschool option, like I said, it's not going to be the same as the distance learning that we did last year. Instead, you will be taking on as your responsibility, the responsibility to school your child, to give your child the academic help that is needed. We will provide the materials, and we are only able to offer this using the individualized curriculum, using the accelerated Christian education. So if you have a younger child that you had enrolled in an Abeka classroom, the only option for Abeka this year is to be in the classroom. Now, those classes are being limited size-wise, and we have purchased the dividers, clear dividers, to go on each desk or on each table so that children will be separated. But we are not going to provide a homeschool option for the Abeka curriculum. It will only be using the accelerated Christian education curriculum. So if you have a second grader, for instance, and you are fearful, then your option would be to use the second grade curriculum for the individualized classroom if you chose to homeschool your child, okay? It is only, the homeschool option is only for first grade through 12th grade, and it would be only using the individualized curriculum. If you have a child in kindergarten or up through 4th grade and they are enrolled in an Abeka classroom, the traditional teacher-style classroom, that's the only option that we have for that type of environment. So kindergartners and K4 can only be in an Abeka traditional classroom. Like I said, we are offering the partitions, we're sanitizing, we are taking temperatures, going to do all that we can to be careful But the homeschool option will only be for first grade through 12th grade and only using the individualized curriculum. Now, the other thing that you need to know is that if you choose that, if you say, right now, I am fearful to send my children, so I am going to choose the homeschool option, that's fine. But when you choose that option then is, you are locked in to that option until the end of the first quarter. That would be the first opportunity that you would have to say, I want Sally to come back to school. And at the end of the first quarter. And I'm going to give you specific dates. So if you are interested in this, please get a pen or a pencil so that you can jot down these dates, because it will be important. They can transfer, reintegrate back into the classroom with these specific stipulations. First of all, it would have to be at the end of the first quarter or the end of the first semester. Those are the only two times that they would be able to reintegrate back into the traditional building as their education rather than homeschooling. Also, once they reintegrate, let's say that Sally is doing better and the COVID seems to have calmed down, flattened the curve, as they say, and you choose to put Sally back in. 3 weeks into the second quarter, there's a spike in the cases again. You could not say, I'm going to homeschool Sally again. If you felt fearful again and you felt like Sally needed to be removed from the classroom, your only option at that point would be to withdraw her from Faith Christian Academy. We're not going to have students bouncing in and out, coming back and then leaving and coming back and leaving. So we just, for the continuity, for the teacher, for the student, for the school, we need to set specific guidelines. So let me give you those dates. I hope you have a pen or a pencil, you can write them down. If you want to begin the school year as a homeschool option, you need to let us know no later than August 14th. If then you feel safe and you want your child to return, the first opportunity to return would be at the end of the first quarter. You would have to inform us of the intent to return your child into the classroom no later than October 28th. That is a Wednesday, the Wednesday of the 9th week of the quarter. Then your child would be able to return on November 2nd, which would be the Monday beginning the second quarter. Okay, so October 28th would be the deadline that you would need to let us know you were returning your child to the classroom. And then on November 2nd would be the first day the child would return. If you decided you were going to have your child return to the classroom for the second semester, then you would need to notify us no later than December 16th, which is the Wednesday right before Christmas break. And then your child would return to the classroom when we return on January 4th. Now, the other stipulation for the return, if you chose to have your child return, is that if we have space in the classrooms, your child would be able to return. If we do not, then you would just continue on homeschooling through the end of the year, because I'm not able, at this point, we are just 4 or 5 children away from having every seat filled. I've limited some classrooms, and other classrooms are already full. So the thing you need to understand is that if there is a spot and you want to return your child, you would be welcome to do that. If there are no spots, that I won't be able to make allowances and have your child come back. The other thing would be that if you chose to want to end homeschooling, then your only other option would be to withdraw your child. So they would complete the year as a homeschooler if they did not reintegrate at the beginning of the second semester. If you do choose the homeschool option, here's the way it will work. I told you you would be taking the responsibility for your child's academic help. Teachers are not going to be able to Zoom or Google Classroom with your child to give help, because they are going to have full classrooms of in-person students. So you are taking on the responsibility of the academic help for your child. With the exception of this, if you have a child who receives tutoring, then the tutoring would be handled just like it was last year. You would set up a time with Mr. Dan and Miss Luann, and they would tutor your child online. But as far as the teachers in the classrooms here, they are not going to be available to help your children with the academics if you choose the homeschool option. With the homeschool option, what we will do for you is this. We will provide your materials. We will give you a specific time, which I will go over in a moment, a specific time that you are able to come and bring your child to score and to take tests. We will give the tests. We will grade the tests. We will keep all of the academic records for you so that you have no responsibility to have to go to the county and register as a homeschooler, because you will just be registered as a private school student, but an off-campus private school student. So we will keep all of your academic records. And then the other thing that we will do for you is normally, except for when we have COVID, students have to take a standardized test at the end of the year, and we will allow your homeschool children to come and take standardized tests at the same time as we test our students with the standardized tests in the spring, okay? So I hope that that clears that up. If you have questions, you are welcome to ask us, but let me tell you now the schedule that we are going to use. And this is important for in-person students and those that choose the homeschool option. What we are going to do this year, because we are offering this homeschool option, the students who will come here every day for school are going to have this schedule. Monday through Thursday, they will go to school from 8:30 to 3, just like they always have. On Friday, though, it will be different. So on Friday, for the in-person students, the schedule will be 8:30 until 12:15. They will have early release so that Friday afternoon can be a time that we can allow the homeschool students to come to do their scoring and their testing. So now let me explain one thing for you here. I realize that some of you have to use aftercare because you have no way to pick your children up, so you pay for aftercare for us to keep your children until 5 or 5:30. If you normally use aftercare and you need that option on Fridays, then there will be the option for your children to stay and to continue to do schoolwork. They will not be in their same classroom because those individualized classrooms will be totally emptied of any in-person students, and the surfaces will all be sanitized because at 12:30, from 12:30 till 3, those of you that are going to use a homeschool option will be able to come and use those individualized classrooms for checking your child's work and getting the testing done and picking up new materials. So if you have in-person students and you normally use aftercare on Fridays, then your children will be able to stay, but they will be moved to a different part of the campus to continue doing schoolwork while we are using those individualized classrooms for the homeschoolers to be able to do their testing and their scoring. It's a little bit different, but it is something that we need to do so that we can facilitate a way for those of you that are choosing the homeschool option to be able to come and get your scoring done. Now, with that in mind, let me tell you this. Just like the in-person students have their temperature tested, so will the homeschool students have to have their temperature taken and logged when they come on Friday afternoons. So you will need to come down the walkway to the front entrance of the school building, and we will have a staff member there who will scan your child's temperature and log it. Now, if you are a parent and you bring your child and you want to go in and help your child get the scoring done as quickly as possible, then we will have to scan your temperature as well. I will only allow one parent or family member to come in with that child, though. I can't have whole families coming in to the building. We just can't. In order to protect our staff and our students and their families, that's something that we are going to have to limit. So if you are choosing the homeschool option and you come on Friday afternoon to do your testing and your scoring, then you will come to the front entrance and someone will scan your temperature and the temperature of your child. Or if you choose to sit in your car and wait for them, that's just fine. But I can't have whole families coming in. The other thing is they have from 12:30 until 3. My staff doesn't have to stay after 3 o'clock. So you need to make sure that you are here. If you drop them off, you need to make sure you are here by 3 to pick them up. Now, the other thing is, if your child has 2 tests to take, and that's all he has to do, he doesn't have to be here the whole time, 12:30 to 3. But you cannot come in after 2:45 because my staff is done at 3 o'clock. The teachers don't have to stay. So you can't come in at 10 minutes till 3 and say, here, my child needs to take these 4 tests. We won't be able to facilitate that. So if you can be here at 12:30 and be done by 1:30, that's great. If you can't be here until 2, that's fine, but you can only stay until 3. That's the window of time that we are allotting for our homeschoolers. We are taking those hours away from our in-person students in order to be able to facilitate that for you. So please use that time wisely and just try your very best to not take advantage. But we will allow one adult to come in with the child if you want to come in, so that you can help to speed up the process as far as checking their work and things like that. So that is what we're going to do. Now, for those of you that have in-person students, we will still be providing aftercare like normal, and that will be normally, unless there's a terrible storm, that will be outside. We are taking several other safety precautions, or just trying to be careful, and things like when your child's class is on break, as much as possible, we're going to spend that time outside with the kids, so that it can be as little enclosed space with them mingling, to help provide for the social distancing. There may be times that we can't, but times that we can, we'll take them outside to eat lunch so they don't have to just stay in their little cubby space with their divider. But we will do all that we can to make it as enjoyable for them as possible, but as safe as possible. Now, I'm checking my list here, seeing along with the care that we are taking by taking the children's temperature, because of all of the health concerns and health issues that are going on around us, we are going to have to tighten up on the way that we deal with children who are here and get sick through the day, because we cannot have, if a child has a fever or is vomiting or has diarrhea, we're not going to be able to have that child stay here. We don't have medical personnel on campus. We don't have place for that child to be isolated and not infect others. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to have a room set aside that will be monitored, where that child can lie down, and as we wait for someone to come and get him or her. But here's the really big issue for some of you. I realize that when we call you because Johnny is sick or Sally is sick, that sometimes you are in the middle of something and it's difficult for you to leave to come get them. I need for you to have as many emergency contacts as possible. You can make out a list of a dozen more if you would like to and bring them in, and we will be happy to enter all of that information into your child's record so that we have a lot of options if your child gets sick. Because here's what we are going to have to do. We will allow an hour for someone to come and pick up your child. If that child has not been picked up in an hour, then we will have to call an ambulance to come and get your child and take him or her to the ER. That is legally, that's our right, but also legally, that's going to be our responsibility in order to ensure that we don't have a lot of people infected by whatever is going on. We went into this and checked into it legally last year, and so that is going to be our policy. So please, it's not that we're trying to be unkind. You can give us as many emergency contacts as possible, and we will, I promise, we will call every single one of them and do our very best to find someone who is able to come and get your child. But there will be a 1 hour period that we will keep the child in our sick bay before we have to call for someone that has medical abilities to come and get him or her, okay? So please help us with that by making sure that when you get a call that your child is sick, that you get here or someone else as soon as possible. I did touch on this once already, but let me just explain in more detail. Instead of coming into the school building this year, you will not be able to do that. We will have the doors locked. Parents cannot come in. They won't come into this building. They won't come into the school building. Now, when I say this building, I mean the auditorium where the kids will be. I realize that you will need to come in and make payments in the financial office. The church office will still function as the financial office, and so you will be able to come in the door at the end of the hall or the door down here at the end of this hall where there's a Ring doorbell. But into the auditorium where the children will be kept, you will not be able to come in. So we'll have that front door locked, and we are having a window, a push-through window, and that's not what they're called, but the window where things can be passed through, installed there in Miss Vanessa's office, where her window is. That will become a pass-through where you will be able to go up to that window, and she will give you the forms that you need, or you can give her things that you need to turn in. You can request to pick up your child early, and she'll give you the sheet to sign your child out. So we will be doing that in order to be really careful of this whole contact tracing. We're not, if I have someone that comes into the office and is sitting there on Monday afternoon waiting to pick up her son from school, and then she calls me on Wednesday and says, I've been found positive with COVID, and we don't have any idea who we have to get in touch with, it would be a tragic situation. So this is just the safest way for us to deal with it. Now, I want to talk to you about uniforms. I know a lot of you are like me. I haven't ordered uniforms yet for my foster daughter, but I'm going to this week. You need to order uniforms. We are not allowing girls to wear just any kind of blouse this year. Girls have to wear, unless she's wearing a dress, girls have to wear a school polo. The school polos, we will allow the ones that were worn last year, but if it's not those, then it has to be from French Toast, the embroidered school polo. Boys have to wear a school polo every day unless they get the tailored shirt with the school logo on it. It has to be a shirt with the school logo. It can't be just a regular polo shirt. Last year's school polos will be all right this year. And then in the next school year, 2021-22, the only ones that will be allowed are the ones from French Toast. The pants that the boys and the girls wear have to be the ones from French Toast. You need to go to the French Toast store and purchase the ones that are on our list of acceptable pants, because we chose them on purpose so they would not be pants that would be too tight. They won't be the spandex type. That's one of the reasons that we've gone to uniforms, is because it's so difficult in the stores to find things that aren't the spandexy pants, and we deal with the pants being too tight. So your children have to be wearing the French Toast pants, the French Toast shirts, unless they are polo shirts from last year, or unless the girl is wearing a dress. If she's wearing a skirt, from one of the nice long skirts, the t-shirt ones that the girls like so well, maxis, that's fine, but it'll have to be with a school polo shirt. For casual day, there are some changes for that as well. So I'm just going to read to you what the handbook says. Some of you have read it. That's awesome. Some of you took the handbook and didn't read it. So I'm going to read it to you, okay? It says casual day is Friday each week. To participate in casual day, a student must pay $1, which will be put in Eagle boosters for extracurricular activities. Students may wear sweatpants or athletic pants, Faith t-shirts, Faith Christian Academy sweats, and Faith Christian Academy knee-length shorts are available from the online store through French Toast and are acceptable attire for casual day. T-shirts and casual shirts in solid or in like designs, free from pictures or words, are also permitted. Sandals may be worn for casual day. Flip-flops and slides are also permitted. Sandals are different than flip-flops, moms and dads. It means they have a piece across the back. They're a little bit safer. They don't slide off as easily. But they can wear flip-flops. Now, it specifically talks about casual wear, sports attire that is from French Toast. There are French Toast sweats. There are Faith sweats. There are Faith shorts. They need to be knee length, so please make sure that you measure your child. If they have a pair of Faith shorts that come from French Toast and they're too short, they're still not going to be able to wear them. So make sure that you order a pair that is going to be long enough for your son or your daughter. But casual day, they are not allowed this year to wear jeans. They can wear sweatpants or athletic pants that don't have the Faith logo, or they can get ones from the French Toast store that have the Faith logo. Let me just remind you once again, if you are on scholarship, then by the end of the year, there will be, we will have received $300 worth of money that can be used for your uniforms. You have to have the initial payout this year. Whatever you purchase from the French Toast store, the online store, if you would like to be reimbursed for that, you can turn those in at the end of the first semester, and those receipts will be reimbursed for you, because that we will up to $150, because at that point we will have received $150 worth of your uniform allotment. If you would like to purchase additional attire during the second semester, then you can turn in those French Toast receipts at the end of the school year and receive reimbursement for those. A lot of people are choosing to not use that second half of the allotment, or not use some of their allotment, because that way, at the end of the school year, whatever is there in Sally's account, if she is on scholarship and you've only used $100 worth of the allotment, then $200 worth is there and can be used to purchase your uniforms for the following year, and you won't have any outlay of funds. If that's not clear, you're welcome to call. The best thing to do is to call and ask for Miss Caroline if possible, because she's my uniform expert. If you are confused about what's allowed and what's not allowed, she will be glad to help you with that. But let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you how to get on the French Toast site in the easiest way, the very most easy way possible. If you will go to our website, then you are able to, from the school website, there is a big box, square link, that says shop. It's our French Toast shop. Mr. Tim is putting on the bottom the link on the video here, the link down below. You can click on that link, or you can write this down. It is www.faithacademyspringhill.com. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, Academy, A-C-A-D-E-M-Y, Spring Hill, no spaces.com. And when you put that in and search, you will bring up our website. And then on that very front page, there's that box that says, French Toast Shop. And you click on that box, and it will take you immediately to our store and the things that are acceptable for our students. Now, here, let me tell you a couple things about that. First of all, if you are clicking around on the French Toast page and you click on sales, it's going to take you to somebody else's store. It's not going to have the items that are acceptable for us. What you need to understand as well is that there are other schools in our zip code, other Christian schools, and J.D. Floyd uses French Toast. So you need to make sure that you click on the link on the website, and that way it will take you right to our store. Now, the other thing is that as you are scrolling down, there will be a heading that will have the gender and grade level. For instance, it'll say girls, K4 and K5. And underneath that, it will have all of the items that are acceptable for those 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, those kindergartners. And then as you keep scrolling, it will give you boys, K4 and K5. And those are the items that are acceptable for them. As you continue to scroll down, you'll see another heading. It'll say girls 1 through 12. That's talking about 1st grade through 12th grade. Those are the items that are okay for them to order. So make sure that you are on our store, and then that you look for the right age and gender of your child. Now, I'm not an expert here because I told you I haven't ordered yet, but I've had multiple people tell me that the quality of the things that you are ordering, the quality is superb. But for the most part, the sizes do run a little bit big. So keep that in mind. Measure your child, measure the waist, measure the length, so that you are sure you are ordering something that will work. Now, the shirts, once they are embroidered, they cannot be returned. So that you need to understand. But if you get a pair of pants that aren't the right size, their return policy is good. They're very good to deal with, and the quality, like I said, is superb. I had a teacher this morning, we had a meeting, and one of the teachers said that the pants that she got for her son, she said if he doesn't grow too much to outgrow them, they will easily last him for 2 years because they are just so durable. So I think you'll be pleased with what you get, but you do have to wear uniforms. The children do. It's not an option. So please make sure that you're careful about that. When you go to the website and you click on that and you get to the French Toast shop, it will ask you to create an account. You'll put in your email. When you do that, they will begin to email you specials and sales. And the sales that they have, they do new sales every week. The sales that they have, as you're scrolling down looking at the items, the sales that they have will it'll be in red. There'll be a prices crossed out and the sale price is in red. If you order any of the athletic wear, the logo is not going to be a great big logo here. It's going to be a logo here, a small logo. And not every one of the items in that athletic wear shows the logo, but they will all have the logo. Why it doesn't show on the shop, I don't know, but they will all have the logo, the Faith logo, okay? All right, now I need to move on to a couple of other things that are real important, and then we'll be done. For those of you that have scholarship, we have received word from the scholarship organization, from Step Up, about the fact that this year all of the scholarship payments will be automatic deposit, direct deposit. So we won't be coming out to your car for you to sign checks anymore. But there are a couple of things that are extremely important for this process to go smoothly. It'll be easier. We're not going to have to try and track you down. You're not going to have to make sure you come so that you can sign. But I'm going to read a couple of things here to you that they sent to us. They said parents and guardians are required to approve their student's scholarship payment before each scholarship payment distribution. They said similar to the final distribution payment for last year, 2019-20, the parents and guardians will be sent an email asking them to review or approve their student's payment for each distribution. So you're going to be doing it, you'll get an email that'll say, please go in and approve your child's distribution to be paid to the school. It says, please ask your parents or guardians to ensure they have an active and correct email address on file with Step Up for Students. Please check that. If the email address that you have on there isn't valid anymore, then it's going to cause a world of trouble for your child to get the payment that is needed for the scholarship payment. Then it says parents and guardians should check their emails often for updates from Step Up. Then they said, we will provide you with the dates of when parents and guardians will be asked to complete this approval. Normally, we have every year, at the beginning of the year, we already know the dates that the checks will be sent out. Everything's different this year because of the delays that they're having, and Step Up is having to deal with multiple things from COVID as well. So they are going to get those dates to us, and when they do, the dates that you need to watch for those emails, we will get them out to you, which brings me to the last point. This year, we are asking every parent or grandparent or whatever, if you are responsible in any way for one of our students, we are asking you to download a Faith Academy text where we can send messages out, just mass messages sent out to inform you of things that are going on. You know, we are coming into hurricane season. Excuse me. I read something today that says that normally September 10th is the peak of hurricane season for us here in Florida. That'll be just a couple weeks after we start school. Maybe we won't have any hurricanes. That would be wonderful. But if we do, we need to let you know that school's going to be closed. We can do that very easily through this mass text. And so I'm asking you, please listen. Listen to me. I want you to take your cell phone and send this text, even if you say, oh, Miss Debbie, I've already done that. Mr. Tim has said, please tell them, if you did it before, do it again. We have gone through and we want to make sure we have everyone. So I would rather that you send it again and then we see that we've got duplicates, we can delete one of them, than for you to think you're included and you're not. So here's the number. Write this down. Mr. Tim probably has it on the bottom of the screen. Won't hurt for you to write it down anyway. 352-240-1980. 352-240-1980. To that number, all you have to do is text school. And when you text school, you will be included where you will receive the mass messages. And it will be that medium that I use to send you the dates that you need to watch for the emails so that you can approve your child's scholarship check, scholarship distribution. It'll be that medium that I will send text messages to remind you of the date for the parent-teacher meeting, to remind you that we are out of school for this holiday. So please get signed up for that Faith Academy text so that we can send you those mass messages. So if you cannot receive text messages, then it's imperative that you call the school office and tell Miss Vanessa, I have no way to receive text messages. Please call me or send me an email, and we will do that. But if we don't know that you can't receive text messages, then we won't know that you're not getting the information. Okay? All right. I'm very thankful that you are going to trust us with your children in school this year. We are preparing in every way we possibly can to keep your children safe, to keep us safe, to keep you safe, and all of their family groups. And we truly want to have them be able to get a good education, and we want to teach them about Jesus. So I appreciate all of you. Please feel free to call if you have any questions. And if you know of somebody that you think may have missed watching this video, please remind them to watch. Okay? Thanks. I'm doing this on Tuesday, so I'm going to wish you a happy Tuesday. You may watch it on Wednesday, so happy Wednesday as well. Bye-bye.